What's up, YouTube? Jeff, your style OG. And on today's video, we're going to discuss 11 daily habits you'll often find in successful men. If you're new to the channel, we release a new video every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, discussing various men's lifestyle topics such as style, grooming, and dating. I invite you to subscribe, tap that notification bell, and join us. And to my returning friends like Michael Duran, salute. Now, human beings in general are creatures of habit. Some of these habits good, some bad, some productive, some counterproductive. And of course, most of us would like to know which habits tend to be more productive and can lead to more success. That's what we're going to talk about on today's video. On today's video, I'm going to discuss with you 11 daily habits you'll often find in successful men. And I encourage you to try to adapt as many of these habits into your daily routine to give you more chances to be successful. So without any further delay, let's hop right into it. Now, first up on the list of habits or characteristics that many successful men have, they tend to be big dreamers and thinkers. The old cliche that you may have heard, that first you must believe it to achieve it, is very true. First, have to visualize your success before you can start down that path. And what you'll often find that a lot of very successful people, other people used to laugh at the size or the scope of their dream. Almost every success first starts with a thought, a dream. So make sure every day you take time to dream, think, visualize a big goal. Because of course you can't achieve goals if you don't first think about them. Now, after you start thinking about these dreams and potential successes, one thing successful people often do, they write these thoughts down. A lot of unsuccessful people, although they might dream and think about it, you can forget them just as soon as they come to mind. Make sure you write these goals and aspirations down. What I found is that when you write things down, they become more real, more concrete. And after writing them down, it's much easier to keep track of them. Here's where you often separate some people. They'll dream and think about stuff like I suggested in the first tip, but they don't write them down, which can help you get started on achieving the dream. It's been found that most successful people keep a journal of some sort. Make sure you join that group. Don't just think about them, write your goals, dreams, and aspirations down on paper. Now, most successful people realize that success doesn't just end with having a strong mind, thoughts, dreams, and aspirations. You need to be strong of mind and strong of body. That's why you'll notice most successful people pay a lot of attention to taking care of their body. I'm talking about exercising and eating as well as possible. Think about it. The better shape you're in, the better you take care of yourself, the more efficiently your body will work. A stronger, efficient body leads to more productivity, leading to more success. And you can't have one without the other. You have to exercise well, but you also have to eat well. As I said, successful people know it doesn't just stop with a strong mind. You need a strong body just as well. Now, no matter how well we eat, it's just a fact that most of us are not going to get all the nutrients we need from the foods we consume. That's why I highly recommend you do what I do to fill in those nutritional gaps. Take a multivitamin, like the multivitamin I take on a daily basis from today's video sponsor, Ritual Essentials for Men. Now, did you know that over 70% of men don't get enough vitamin E and over 97% of men don't get enough vitamin D? That's where Ritual comes in with their daily essential multivitamin. And Ritual's multivitamins are the ones I depend on for a couple of reasons. One, they're scientifically based. Their scientists and nutritional experts have reviewed thousands of studies and were able to identify through that research the nutritional components most men were lacking. And through this research, they were able to develop a multivitamin to fill in those gaps in the foods we consume. And another reason why I depend on Ritual Essential Vitamins, not only did they find the vitamins that fill in your nutritional gaps, they make sure their vitamins are made of high quality ingredients. And this isn't just marketing speak. You can go directly to Ritual's website and trace the supply chain, source, and ingredients in every multivitamin they make. And I also love the specificity of Ritual's vitamins. There's a Ritual Daily Essential Vitamin for men 18 plus and another multivitamin specifically for men 50 plus. Now, not only did Ritual sponsor today's video, they've got a great discount for the Stylo-G family. All you have to do is enter code OG at checkout and get 10% off your first 3-month supply. So if you want to start filling in your nutritional gaps with a highly researched, high-quality multivitamin specifically for men, hit the link in the description and check out Ritual Essential. Next up on the list of the daily habits of successful people is that they seize upon the knowledge that there's no better time than the present. One of the best predictors if you're going to get something done is actually starting. And one of the biggest thieves of success, procrastination. Now, I have to admit, one of the things I've had to fight over and over is procrastination. But I found that every time I've been able to defeat procrastination, I've been much more likely to succeed. And that's the thing. The road to success starts with that initial step. You'll find that a lot of unsuccessful people put things off to tomorrow. But on the other hand, like I said, successful people always remember there's no better time than the present. So if you want to increase the likelihood that you'll succeed, just get started. Seize the day. Now, one of the main reasons why a lot of unsuccessful people don't take that first step and seize the day is that taking that first step is often uncomfortable. And here's where you see the difference in most successful people. They realize most success comes outside of your comfort zone. Gonna be some growing pains, there's gonna be some discomfort. But they face that discomfort head on. And I get it, a lot of us fear the unknown. But don't think successful people don't have those fears too. They just face them. Successful people know if they do the same things they've been doing day after day, year after year, they're gonna have the same result. But stepping out of your comfort zone, facing your fears, leads to new experiences and new successes. But on the other hand, you'll often find that successful people don't just go out into the world willy-nilly without first arming themselves. Smart people and successful people are constantly learning. You will find that most successful people do what I often recommend you do. They read every day. They're always acquiring new knowledge. They're expanding their mental horizons, taking in more information. The more information you have, the more likely you are to succeed in your endeavor. Whether the learning is formal or informal, the fact is successful people are always learning. It's often said, a foolish man thinks he's wise and a wise man knows he's foolish. The smarter, more successful people constantly learning. Now, next up on the list of 11 daily habits of successful people is one I highly recommend and believe in. Successful people plan strategically. Now, remember earlier when I talked about successful people writing things down? They're often writing down their 1 month, 3 month, 1 year, and 5-year plan. And they go about achieving their goals in a strategic way. They use logic, intention, purpose, and patience. You know, I often like to use cliches, and one of my favorites is this one. A man who fails to plan, plans to fail. It's very hard to succeed flying by the seat of your pants, hoping you get lucky. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. Plan on the daily. Now, you'll notice a lot of these habits are strategic, they're mental, they're thought processes, but I want to remind you there's one daily habit that will always work. Successful people outwork everybody else. All the planning, strategizing, that's great, but it doesn't matter if you don't get down to business. And I don't care what field you're in, the hardest working guy is much more likely to succeed. You just can't get around it. Lazy people aren't generally successful. Let me give you a personal example. Now, when I started this YouTube channel, I didn't know if it was going to be successful, but I promised myself I'd outwork everybody. And hey, if the channel didn't work, it wouldn't be because I didn't put in the effort. Now, I'm still working on making my channel better, improving the quality, but I promise you this, no one's going to outwork me. And I strongly believe it's led to the success of this channel. All the thinking, strategizing, that's great. But one thing you can always count on with successful people, they outwork everybody. Now, next up is a characteristic I definitely believe in, and one you'll find in a lot of successful people. They realize that along the road to success, there's gonna be plenty of failure. In fact, I guarantee you, when you see a successful guy, he's probably had 5 or 6 failures prior to this success. Successful people realize there's usually two outcomes. You're either going to win or you're going to learn. The learning comes in the mistakes and the failures, in the trial and error. Unsuccessful people think if I try once and I don't make it, I'm just not supposed to be successful. That couldn't be any further from the truth. The path to success is littered with many failures. One of the biggest difference between successful and unsuccessful people, successful people fall and pick themselves up. If you fail, remember, that's part of the process. Everybody does, especially successful people, which piggybacks nicely into our next successful daily habit. Successful people let go of the things they can't control and focus on the things they can. What you see a lot of unsuccessful people do, they'll whine, they'll complain about things they just have no hand in. And it can be very easy to do. If you focus on the things you can't control, you don't have to focus on the things that you can. It's almost like a built-in excuse. But successful people, they acknowledge the things that are out of control, observe it, but then move on to the things they can control. You first need to realize you can't control everything in life. You're gonna have to let some things go. Successful people do a very good job of that. They acknowledge what they can't control, let it go, and put their mind to the things they can control. Now, one of the things I definitely want you to keep in mind that I believe will lead to much more success, remember, you're a human being, not a human doing. What do I mean by that? Your career is what you do. It's not who you are. A lot of times we can get caught up in an identity that a career and job can give us. And don't get me wrong, a successful, fulfilling career does give you some self-identity. But what happens when you come to a bump in the road in that career, lose your job, or feel like you should be doing something else? If your identity is too much wrapped up in your career, you won't let it go. You won't be able to pivot, especially in today's modern age where nobody stays with the same company and rarely keep the same career throughout their life. You have to be adaptable. If you're working a certain job and certain career and believe that's who you are, you'll lose who you are if you lose that job. Not saying that having a career change or losing your job won't hurt. It will. But it's a job, it's a career, it's what you do, it's not who you are. Now, as you can see, there's a number of characteristics and daily habits a lot of successful people have in common. Do yourself a favor and reflect on the different habits we talked about in today's video. If you want to be more successful, incorporate the ones you might be lacking in. The more you develop these habits, I believe the more likely you will be to succeed.